So how do you make that transition, though, from going over to Japan and playing to NHL goalie coach? Can you walk us through that?
Well, I didn't want to be around the game because for a while, because I retired solely for the family. Like I said, I was really enjoying the game, but I played my last 3 seasons when my wife and kids moved back to White Rock because we wanted to get the boys into immersed in schooling and hockey because they wanted to play more hockey at a higher level. So I each year was a single year season signing. I signed a year up north and said I'll play one more year, and I did it. And I would travel back for holidays and off season, and then I would coax my wife into one more year and sign another year. And the third year, I had a great time and great season. And then she said, I got a call about resigning. She said, if you go back, you might as well just stay there. So in a joking but not joking way.
Sure.
So the writing was on the wall to hang him up, and because she had all three boys in rep hockey. So we're talking 15 ice times a week, and she was Miss Bus Mom, so that wasn't happening anymore. So I retired. Having said that, I didn't want to get back into hockey right away, and plugged along. I opened a freaking smoothie shop, tried to be a businessman, failed at that, and things were like literally not going great. The '08 crash happened and it hit me hard, and I ended up selling cars and realized that I needed to find something I loved again. And so I said, maybe I could try coaching. I don't know. So I just, with my contacts, I contacted a few people, and Billy Ranford actually mentioned me to the Seattle Thunderbirds. And I've known Billy since I was 16 years old. And I talked to Russ Farwell, and he hired me, and I just went like 7 days of the month. I drove down, and first year I had Calvin Pickard, and I realized at that moment that, one, I was actually pretty good at it. I had this ability to connect with people, and just being in the locker room in the office and being on the ice, I realized, yeah, this is kind of what I'm meant to do. And then I did the second year there, and then in the summertime, I did the Team Canada POE camp in Calgary. They asked me to coach in that, the goalie thing. And I saw a buddy of mine, Wade Flaherty.
Good old
And,
Flats, still here in Winnipeg.
Yeah, and Flats and I were talking, and he mentioned, yeah, we're just in the final stages of hiring a new position, not just a minor league goalie coach, but a development NHL goalie coach. And I'm like, dude, hello. I said, what about I do that? And he said, oh, really? You'd be interested? And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, I think they're almost done with the process. They were down to a couple people. He said, I'll see if I'll talk to Zinger and see if I can get you an interview. And the next day, I think Zinger called me and he said, would you be willing to fly down in a couple of days or whatever, flying to Winnipeg? And so I did. And did the interview with Chevy and Zinger and those guys. And I actually played with Chevy in U18, Team Canada and stuff. So I already knew him. And then a week later, I got the job.
Wow.
For the Jets.
Yeah.
And you made it alive. You didn't get the Winnipeg handshake. You ever heard of the Winnipeg handshake before?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I had some real good success right off the hop. I had Hutch, went from the coast to the NHL that year. And then I had Helly and Boods, and Helly went up, and that's when I signed with LA.
We do a hockey podcast called Sling the Biscuit every single Sunday. The clips, the bite-sized chunks are right here. Only the hits, the full-length show, which you don't want to miss, is right here. That's Dave. I'm Travis. We'll see you soon.